Hello, hello. Welcome to the Berkeley Law's Admissions and Financial Aid webinar today. My name is Lauren King. I am the Director of Financial Aid here, and I'm thrilled to have you join us today as we will talk about your exciting journey at Berkeley Law. At today's webinar, the Director of Admissions, Joseph Lindsay, will guide you through the initial gift aid process and timeline. And following his presentation, you'll have the opportunity to unmute yourselves and ask any questions that you may have. In addition, we have financial aid team, Rosanna and Jorge, joining us here, and they will be answering some questions in the Q&A session. So if you have questions that you want to write down and drop it in the Q&A section, then you can do that, and we'll be here to answer your questions throughout the webinar. So let me see. Do you see the screen that I'm sharing? Okay, perfect. All right. So Joseph, if you want to briefly introduce yourself, and then I can just go to the next slide for you, and then you can just take it away. Thank you.
Thanks, Lauren. Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph Lindsay. I'm the Director of Admissions and Operations here at Berkeley Law. I use he, they pronouns. Welcome, and please feel free to use the Q&A. As Lauren mentioned, you are also welcome to raise your hand if you have questions, and we can call on you. This will be a very brief presentation, so this is just really more an opportunity for you to ask questions. I hope by now many of you have already received some of our emails, as well as references to some of our Google Docs. But if you haven't, or if you need those, we'll be happy to provide them as well to you. So today we're just going to briefly go over the initial gift aid process and the timeline, letting you know what are the stages and where we're at in this process, and also then what you should be anticipating coming up within either the next month or the month after as well. So for many of you, when you received your offer of admission, you also saw that we do what's called the Supplemental Gift Aid Questionnaire or application. The SGA sent us a link to you in order for you to fill out, so we can use that to determine the award that may be a combination of either merit only, merit and need, or need only. And we are notifying individuals on a rolling basis. We did some notifications in the 12th of January. We're doing another round today. And so we'll continue to send those out to applicants, letting them know, or admitted students, I should say, letting them know of the offered award. This will continue to go out up until we get to the point of reconsideration, which is scheduled to begin on March 20th, and will go through the end of April, early May. This initial award that you may receive will not be part of our programmatic scholarships. And for many of you that applied or asked to be considered for, such as the Public Interest Scholars Program or the Berkeley Law Opportunity Scholarship Program, those are a separate process as well. So if you do receive an initial gift aid award, it is not in response to the PI Scholars or the Berkeley Opportunity Scholarship Program. Again, those will be a separate process, and those are actually going to begin shortly, and they will begin notifying candidates of the award by mid-February. And so it's likely that if you did receive an initial gift aid award, you then may also receive a follow-up, and so that award, the public interest or the Berkeley Law Opportunity Scholars, would replace it. And it would either then be equal to the tuition, or in the case of first gen, it would be equal to tuition plus SHIP, which is our student health insurance program. We do have a gift aid acceptance deadline, so if you are awarded a scholarship, it will be on a rolling basis, but right now the deadline to respond to it is April 1. And so what you'll see there is that it is different than our first response deadline, and so you will have to respond to that award earlier than the April 15th timeline. And of course, when you see anything with regards to that, then it will be that we are asking you to respond to the offer of admission as well as the scholarship that you're receiving by the first. And we do not accept tentative as part of the gift aid offer. you are accepting both your offer of admission as well as the scholarship at that point. I know I saw a hand raised, so I promise I will get to you. If you have yet to receive a scholarship or a gift aid in the timeline that we lead up to, then you, of course, are going to have other deadlines that you'll be seeing April 15th, May 15th. So like I said, this gift aid rolling deadline will continue and may overlap, or it may be, in this case, an April 1 deadline. I hope I'm not getting too in the weeds, but let me stop there real quick because we did have a hand raised. So Tenley, let's see, allowed to talk. Feel free to unmute yourself.
I apologize. I accidentally raised that.
Oh, okay. So as I was saying, then our gift aid acceptance deadline is going to be on a rolling basis. Right now, as we're notifying candidates, it will be by April 1. That an admitted student will need to respond. Of course, there will be opportunities to ask for an extension at a later date, especially if someone is applying for reconsideration. But initially, right now, that the timeline that someone will need to respond will either be April 1 or maybe April 15th. Their first response deadlines, though, are different in a lot of ways. So if you're not awarded gift aid, as it says, you'll still have to respond by April 15th. If you are offered it, then it's that response deadline. Or if it's later than the 15th, of course, then you need to respond by that point. You will have the option, if, as it says here, that if you're not offered gift aid, then you can make the response to tentatively accept, which is a maybe, as you wait to receive some kind of response, or you can withdraw or firmly accept the offer of admission. Beyond that, we have what's called a reconsideration process, and there'll be more communication about this later. It is going to be posted on our admitted students page as well. And so you'll find some more information about it there. We do have a formal reconsideration process, so it is a little bit different than other schools. Some schools may not have a formal process at all. They may not, and in this case, we do. So it is a matter of completing a online form and submitting your request for reconsideration. It will ask you to submit any supporting documentation, and then there are some awards that may not be eligible for reconsideration. And so we pretty much spell it out to make sure you're aware of what to do. And the response and the reconsideration could be for a number of factors. Could be one, you were awarded gift aid and now have an offer from another school that you're taking into consideration. And so you're asking for an update or an increase to the gift aid award letter. You may be submitting a reconsideration because you have yet to receive an offer, but you have another offer from another school that you're seriously considering as well. And so also you could be submitting it because of circumstances have changed as far as financial need is concerned, or other factors that have not been evaluated with your application. And so you're submitting that as well for consideration. That process, though, again, is going to be, you'll get more information about it, but it is will begin after our admitted students weekend, and then it'll roll until the end of April, early May. And then at that point, you'll have a final response deadline of May 15th. The deadlines to respond to the reconsideration also will be rolling. So what you're seeing here, that third bullet, April 1 to May 15th, is kind of a blend of the two. Some of the initial offers that you'll get will be up until April 15th. And then beyond that timeline, those response deadlines may be because of the reconsideration and our response to your request. And if it's been approved, then you'll be given a timeline of when you need to respond. That's pretty much it. So can we go to the next slide? So we will have some other upcoming sessions that are going on right now. If you were admitted by the end of last year, we had a few rounds of offers of admissions that have gone out, plus those that were admitted under the early decision program. We have notified individuals if we're not able to award any increases in gift aid for those that were admitted under the early decision program. And then also we are notifying, like I said, additional rounds, and we'll likely send out another one today and hopefully a few more before the end of the week. If you were admitted recently, so within the past 2 weeks, we had 2 rounds of admits that went out. We still are reviewing, but we are also waiting for responses to the supplemental gift aid questionnaire so that we can make our decision based on all of the factors. If you indicated no, we are reviewing those. If you did include a response, then that is being added in as well. So you can probably anticipate responses to initial gift aid by the end of this month, if not early February, and that will also be on a rolling basis as well. So it could come sooner as well. I don't really have exact timelines, so I do apologize, but our goal is to try to get those out as quickly as possible, but also to allow you time to be able to respond to the supplemental gift aid application if you choose so. And so there'll be some additional ones that'll coming forward. The Wednesday, March 20th will be the best one if you have questions related to reconsideration, because our other Director of Admissions, Alice Young, will be presenting and answering any questions you might have related to it. When is the best time to submit a request for reconsideration? What if I'm considering multiple schools? What if this? What if that? It'll be an opportunity to ask any questions as well. Now, if we do have a question, if you were admitted in December, should you have already received? It depends, is the easiest answer for me. We have been sending them out, but we will be continuing to. So if you were admitted shortly before the holiday break, we are what's going out today as well, and also later in this week, we are in response to those that were admitted before the end of the year, but then also those that were admitted more recently within these past few weeks. I'm seeing a lot of familiar names on the attendees, so it's nice to see them and know, kind of put those applications with who's here. But are there any other questions that we can answer at this time? This is a rather brief presentation. I apologize. And feel free to raise your hand if you have questions. Feel free to put it in the chat if you'd like. You can always, or the Q&A, and you can do it anonymously. But if there's other questions that we can answer that aren't being addressed, please let us know.
And while we're waiting, let me share some contact information for financial aid and also other useful offices that you might want to know. So for financial aid, here's our office location, phone number, email addresses, one for the general financial aid email address, and the other one is specific for LREB. If you are curious to learn more about our loan repayment assistance program at Berkeley Law, then feel free to set up an appointment with our LREB counselor, or you can definitely email your questions over there. Our office hours are listed here, and this link to schedule an appointment actually can be found on our website. So you can go to Berkeley Law Financial Aid website, and you'll be able to see on top to schedule an appointment with our office. So feel free to do so. Next, some useful contacts. So we have any admitted student-related questions that's regarding financial aid. You can email financial aid office or admitted@law.berkeley.edu for your general admitted student questions. And also, if you are receiving veterans benefits, have questions about veterans benefits, then you can contact the Veterans Affairs. The residency-related questions can go directly to the ORRES at berkeley.edu. And because we don't handle residency at the School of Law, your questions regarding residency, we can answer them in a general sense. But if you have specific questions, I strongly encourage you to reach out to them specifically. For undocumented students, we do have a special office just dedicated to provide supports and guidance for undocumented students. Their contact information is there on this screen. And for any University of California students, you are required to have a student insurance plan, and you will be automatically enrolled to the Berkeley's student insurance plan. And there is a way for you to waive this plan if you already have a student health insurance outside of UC Berkeley. And there are some requirements that you need to know. So you can email directly to ship@berkeley.edu to learn more about what are our guidelines for SHIP, what's covered, what's not covered, and how to waive, and as well as the Berkeley Needs Center. So for students who need additional resources for their basic needs, such as housing, food, the Basic Needs Center is there to provide some support and some information, resources. They will have a good community of people who have, a lot of information that can be really useful to our students. So that's another, important contact information that I wanted to share today. I see some questions coming in, and it looks like Joseph is typing an answer. Joseph, do you want to answer live?
Yeah, so this year, with regards to the Berkeley Law Opportunity Scholarship, in years past, we did have interviews when we narrowed down the finalists for this particular scholarship and then selected them. But this year, we have changed our process, so there will not be an interview with regards to the Berkeley Law Opportunity Scholarship. The committee will use your application with your essay, and if you submitted the supplemental gift aid questionnaire to select this year's recipients, they will be notified, like I said, probably mid-February of their decision. It is a little different this year as well, in that the committee may start doing those more on a rolling as well and select individuals as a one-off and then notify them. So there's a little bit of difference in it, but I do expect that they'll likely try to get everybody notified all at once. I've heard a few different things of what they're trying to do this year. So there will not be an interview process with it. So be sure that you have included all of the materials that you want to be considered for your for this particular scholarship, so the essay itself. And then also be sure that you, if you want the supplemental gift aid questionnaire to be used as part of the evaluation as well, that it is submitted by the timeline that you're given as well.
Thank you. For those of you who are still in this webinar, I want to emphasize that, your participation is valued, and we encourage you to make the most out of this, interactive session. You can ask questions, and your questions will contribute to the collective knowledge of our community. So if you have any burning questions in your mind, please use this session to ask your questions. Otherwise, I guess we can wait about a couple minutes, and if we don't get any more questions, then we can kind of close the webinar. Guess that's a bit quick webinar than we thought. But yeah, I mean, the floor is open, and you can use this opportunity to ask any questions you may like. All right, the next question is, are there interviews for the PI scholarship?
There are not. So there are no interviews with regards to either the public interest or the Berkeley Law Opportunity Scholarships. What we will use, or the committee uses, are the interest in Berkeley. So hopefully you included that statement with regards to your application. If you were recently admitted and you didn't include it, be sure to send that to us at admissions@law.berkeley.edu. We will go ahead and attach that to your application so that the committee will go ahead and use that for consideration. And then, of course, with the BLOS scholarship, that we use that separate essay as well. And so you make sure you do that. There are not going to be any other pieces as far as interviews or Kira as part of, like we did for admissions, as part of the process for selecting the scholarships as well. Is it worth applying for a need price? So I would say it's always worth giving us information. So one of the things I will say with regards to the supplemental gift aid questionnaire is that we are looking more at, for many of you that have already done it, you already can tell that we're looking at overall historic need. And so we're trying to kind of get a sense of information related to What was the makeup of your household growing up while you were in high school, college, and present day? We're asking about things related to housing insecurity, food insecurity, other pieces to it that we're trying to understand and assess overall need. And so for all of us, that may look differently. Whether we identify as first gen, whether or not we're single or dependents, or we're taking care of our parents, there could be an element of need that you want to address so that we're made aware of it, and so that we can use that as part of our evaluation and awarding gift aid. I would like to say I hope we could, but it all depends as far as you submitting that material. So if you feel like that's something that you want the committee to be using in their evaluation, please do so. We're not only just looking at a FAFSA and the information that's being reported. We are asking all of this information because we want to make sure we do assess overall need as well. And there is also, I see Ben's question, so I want to answer that real quick. So I'm Chamoivi. I'm from Colorado River Indian Tribes. So hi, Ben. The thing too about with regards to NAOP, the quick answer to that is yes. The thing you want to do, and you really want to work with Lauren and her team, is regards to making sure that you're on the right track, and also with residency office, to obtain residency for your second and third year. And it's a little bit different if you think about it than like what you're trying to demonstrate. This is for tuition and fees purposes, that you are listed as a resident. So there are some things that you need to do, physical presence, so driver's license, things like that, but they'll walk you through it. But if you do get the residency reclassification and they approve you as a California resident for tuition purposes, then yes. And especially if you're awarded gift aid, then in that case, that award would adjust so that it covers then second and third year. And you do, though, there is the caveat that you need to be an enrolled member of a federally recognized tribe. So the hard part is for California tribes, not all are. And of course, as you might know, there are a number of other states where they're either just state recognized or they're still fighting for sovereignty. And so that plays a factor in it as well. This program itself is only for those members of federally recognized tribes, enrolled members. And then the residency component. So meeting those two criteria, yes, the answer is the second and third year would change for sure. I think that's great because it does help to reduce and kind of take into consideration as well. As far as the deadline is concerned, clarifying, let's see, an acceptance, those who are offered gift aid in April 15 is the initial deadline. That is correct. I will say, let's say I award anonymous here a gift aid and the response deadline is April 15th. It's probably because I sent it out a little bit closer where I don't want to just give you a 1 week turnaround and all of a sudden it's April 1. I want to make sure you have time. So you may see April 15th as it, but given the time right now, since it's in January, I'm telling everybody that for April 1, and that way they're responding to the gift aid offer and their acceptance offer at the same time. They can always email us at that point as the deadline gets closer, and email Jorge or Lauren or Rosanna here, myself, or even Aubrey, who's on our call, and ask, hey, can I extend it because of X, Y, and Z? And we'll respond to that request. But yes, you're right. Then you would have to respond by the 1st. If you do not hear a response by the 1st, and it's the 15th, and that is your response deadline for your offer of admission. And you can tentatively accept it, and you can say, hold me for now because I still want to make sure that I'm hopefully being considered for gift aid. And if I've submitted for reconsideration, I'm waiting a response, then at least it gives you the time to weigh your decision. Hope that answers. Any other questions that we can answer? Feel free to raise your hand if you'd like. I'll make a plug if you haven't yet. Also, as we're updating our admitted students website, I hope we will see you at other upcoming events. So we are putting in the final updates for our alumni and diversity it's with Admits and Alumni Diversity dinners that are going to be in LA and in DC and in New York. So if you're in any of those areas, I hope I will see you there. We will have upcoming firm receptions as well in many of the areas. So I hope that you're able to attend. If you are not able to make for Admitted Students Weekend, and I hope I will see you at Admitted Students Weekend, which will be in March. This is a great opportunity as well. If you have questions related to the travel stipend, feel free to email admits, and we'll make sure to connect you with Chelsea so she can answer any questions as well. So sorry, I had to do a little plug.
That's very helpful. Thank you, Joseph. All right. So I think we have answered all questions that came through so far. Thanks everyone for joining this webinar. As Joseph mentioned, we do have upcoming webinars every month. So feel free to stop by and ask any questions or reach out to us and email us if you have any questions in between. Thanks again and hope you have a great day.